Hello, everybody. I'm Jim Boyd. I'm the co-chair of the Greater Rochester Quality Council. Quick logistical note. Our default Zoom setting is that everybody's microphones, other than our featured speakers, are muted. So if you'd like to ask your question during the session, just unmute yourself by clicking the microphone icon in the bottom left corner. We have closed captioning capability, and if you'd like to enable that, you can do so by hitting the CC button at the bottom of the screen. GRQC's mission is to stimulate and foster excellence in product, services, and processes of all organizations in our community. Our vision is to make Rochester area a showcase for quality practices and performance excellence across all sectors in the community: business, healthcare, not-for-profit, education, and government. The council is made up of community members who are dedicated to collaboration and demonstration of proven quality improvement methods. Feel free to visit our website at grqc.org to learn more and check out our future events. One I'd like to highlight in particular is the 2023 Performance Excellence Awards. Those are now open for applications. These awards recognize excellence achieved through continuous improvement methodologies in three categories: team excellence, customer experience, and organization excellence. Applications will be accepted through the end of the month for this year's awards. And the showcase and awards event will be held in October as part of National Quality Month. So if you're interested in applying, please take a look at our website, or you can send any questions to awards@grqc.org. Additionally, our next monthly program, Organizational Excellence at ESL, Federal Credit Union, will be on May 24th. So those that are on the GRQC mailing list, including anyone registered for today's program, will receive an invitation in the next couple of weeks. But in the meantime, again, feel free to check it out on our website, and you can also register there. So now on to our featured program for today. I want to thank you for joining us for a unique program on sustaining organizational excellence in minor league baseball. Today's program is being recorded, and the recording will be posted to the GRQC website. At this point, I'd like to introduce our moderator for today's program. Eric Alden is a recently elected GRQC board member and also a senior reliability manager at Xerox. Eric will introduce our featured speaker for today and then help facilitate and coordinate question and answer portion of today's program. Eric.
Very good. Well, thank you very much, Jim, for the introduction. I want to just welcome everybody. You know, today our speaker would like to encourage your questions and plans to leave plenty of time at the end of the discussion for your questions. So we invite you to submit questions in one of two ways. So if you need clarification of a point that the speaker is making, please raise your hand on Zoom, and the speaker will pause to answer your questions. And if you have any more detailed questions, please post it to the chat, and then we'll try to make sure it's addressed during a discussion. So at this point, it's my privilege to introduce Dan Mason. He's a longtime general manager of the Rochester Red Wings. The upcoming 2023 baseball season will mark Dan's 34th season with the Red Wings and his 29th as the club's general manager. So notably, he is a three-time winner of the International League Executive of the Year Award. He's a Webster native, and Dan is a 1985 graduate of the McQuay Jesuit Jesuit High School and a 1989 graduate of the University of Notre Dame. And so Dan resides in Rochester with his wife, Sheila, and their 2 children, Cam and Anna. And so Dan, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, guys. I appreciate it very much. It's great to see some familiar faces and names here on the screen. So hopefully I will not waste too much of your time today. That is my goal. But please, as Eric mentioned, I'd love to do this as interactive as possible. I can talk all day, but I'd rather answer your questions and have you have me talk about things that you want to hear about. So the first thing I always like to do whenever I speak to any group is make it abundantly clear. My role as a general manager of a minor league team, and really every minor league general manager, our role is to oversee the business side of our operation. So everything from marketing to sales, PR, community relations, accounting, the team store, and grounds crew and operations and things like that. I cannot control anything that happens on the field. So I can't do anything cool like make trades or sign free agents or get rid of players that are not performing very well, or sign guys that in hopes that they can make our team better. So I know you're probably not going to remember anything I say today. So just please remember this one thing. If we stink, it's not my fault. Okay. Because, oftentimes if the team is having a rough day, people start throwing hot dogs at me, and ketchup and mustard stains are really hard to get out of my suit. So, please, in honor of my wife, please do not throw things at me. It'll make her life a lot easier. So, and mine. But anyway, so our job is really to provide wholesome family entertainment for people in our community, all kinds of people in our community. And really at the end of the day, it's to make sure that when you, your family, your friends, when you come to a game here at Innovative Field, that it was worth your time and it was worth your money. So how do we do that? Through a variety of means and ways. We try to make your experience as great as possible. Now, certainly the game itself is the focal point of the entertainment experience, but I would say that it's just a portion of that entertainment experience. And that's really our industry. Baseball, we're a baseball team, but we try to be a lot more than just a baseball team. We try to be woven into the fabric of our community. And as a matter of fact, our middle name is community. Our formal business name is Rochester Community Baseball. So we try to be a lot more than just a baseball team. We try to be an important part of our town. So getting back to the entertainment experience, and aside from, in terms of competition, aside from on the field, our competition is the Buffalo Bisons or the dreaded Syracuse Mets or other teams that we play, but really other forms of entertainment is our, I'll say, competition, going to the movies or miniature golf or even other entertainment activities like going to somebody's cottage or really anything that you could think of in the summertime to be entertained, amusement parks or concerts or things like that. So how do we really try to separate ourselves? And really one of those big things is by making it affordable for families to come and be entertained for an evening or for a day game. But I think that customer service is really a vital part of making somebody's entertainment experience special, and hopefully it's what differentiates our product from other entertainment options that you might have. And I think when I look around, I think of other companies that we try to emulate, and on a national level, I think of Disney, and they do just a phenomenal job of making sure that it was worth your time and it was worth your money. Now, thankfully for us, it costs a lot more to go to Disney than it does to come down to One Morey Silver Way here at Innovative Field. But I think locally, the company that I try to emulate and our staff tries to emulate is Wegmans. They just do such a phenomenal job of with that, grocery shopping experience. And for us, it's important to make sure that your baseball experience is one that is unmatched, not only at the minor league level, but at the major league level. And again, you go to a major league game, it's going to cost you a lot more than it does to come to Innovative Field. And I would argue that maybe your experience here would be even better than going to a major league game, but I'll let you decide that. But customer service, again, so you're going to interact with probably, there's only about 20 people on our full-time staff here. So while it would be, I hope that you get a chance to interact with all of our staff when you come to a game. It's just not reasonable to think that. But you are going to come in contact with all kinds of different employees, probably 10 to 15 different employees. So we spend a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of effort training our employees to be the best customer servants that they can possibly be. And it starts in the parking lot. You're going to run into a few people in the parking lot, and hopefully that sets a great tone for your experience here at Innovative Field. And then you make your way to the ticket office, where again, you'll come in contact with a customer service rep in our ticket office, one of our ticket salespeople. Then you'll get your ticket torn at the or scanned, I should say now, at the gates, and then you'll run into one of our ushers, and then of course, hopefully you come hungry and thirsty, and you run into a myriad of concessions employees during your stay here at the ballpark. But all of those people, I hope that you get sick and tired of hearing something along the lines of "Thanks for coming, enjoy the game, have a great night." I hope that literally every one of those interactions that you have with our employees, that is something that you say. I think, and hopefully many of you agree, when you go to venues these days and you try to interact with people, be it a waiter or a waitress or the person that's checking you out of a store, oftentimes it's really hard to get more than a grunt out of some people, when you're trying to engage with them. Our focus is making sure that all of our employees really treat you with incredible respect and really engage with you, and try to, again, make your experience one that you're happy about. People are coming to our park and spending their time and spending their money to have fun. So all of us, it's our job to make sure that you have fun. While my title is general manager, it could really be director of fun, because that's what we all do. That's what we're all here to do, is to make sure that you have a great time, whether the team wins or loses. And I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but if we lose, I had nothing to do with it. But we can make sure that you, if you laugh, if you smile, if your taste buds are rejuvenated, those are the kind of things that we're responsible for making sure. And I think in terms of customer service, one of the most important things we do as a staff is to stand at the gates at the end of a game and just be available for people, be visible throughout the game, but also at the very end, so that when you're leaving, the last thing that you hear is somebody from our front office staff saying, "Thanks for coming, have a great night." And if you're walking out of those gates with a smile, whether the team won or lost, we know we did our job. If you're walking out with a frown, then we can grab you there and say, "Hey, everything go okay tonight?" And hopefully we can get you before you leave, if you did not have a great experience, and give us the opportunity to try to make it better before you walk out those gates. The last thing we want is for somebody to leave this ballpark with a bad taste in their mouth, from something happened with, whatever. Again, nothing I can do about what happens on the field, but if you had a bad experience with one of our employees, or if something you ate wasn't great, or something wasn't clean, again, those are all things that are our responsibility and our job to make sure that your experience is as good as could possibly be. And we want to try to get those fans before they leave, good or bad, just to make sure, check in with them. And I think by being at the gates as people leave, it shows another great thing, that we care. We care about your experience. We're not just here to take your money. We're here to ensure that it was a good time and it was worth your time. So customer service is really, really important for us. exceeding expectations is the other thing that we really try to preach and do amongst our organization. You know, people have expectations of going to a game. People have expectations of going to a store or let's say going to a movies, right? So let's take another, and no offense to the movie business. If anyone is on here that is in the movie business, I apologize in advance. I'm just using this as an example. But you know, your expectations of going to a movie, you're going to sit in an air-conditioned dark room for about an hour and a half. You can't talk to anybody. You're going to get a big bucket of popcorn for maybe $15, a cup of ice with a little soda in it for another $7. Now I'm exaggerating, obviously. So it's okay to smile. Everybody smiling is infectious. But your expectations of coming to a game here at Innovative Field is you're going to see a game and get something to eat and you know, hopefully have fun on a beautiful night in the summertime. But we try to exceed your expectations and build value into the ticket, right? So if you come on a Tuesday, you can get 2 tickets for the price of 1. So already you're saving money every time that you come on a Tuesday, right? Many times we'll have giveaways. You'll get a chance to get a free, let's say a free hat, right? So if you go out and you buy a hat these days, it's about at least $20 to $30. So right there, your value for your ticket has gone up quite a bit. So you're getting a free hat with the purchase of a ticket. You're going to get the opportunity to get an autograph. Every night we have one player sitting in our Diamond Pro autograph booth, and they can get for 20 minutes. So your kids or you can get an autograph free of charge from one of our players, who maybe tomorrow is on ESPN, by the way. He may be playing in Rochester tonight, but tomorrow he could be playing in the big leagues. You're going to get, your kids or you are going to get hopefully the chance to high five or meet or take a picture or get an autograph from one of our mascots, Spikes or Mitzi. So again, all of these entertainment experiences, all for the price of, you know, 1 ticket. Again, Fridays and Saturdays, every Friday and Saturday, free fireworks, right? You don't have to, we don't charge extra. It's just the same price as a normal ticket, but your entertainment value is exceeded because you're getting a lot more than just a baseball game. On Sundays, after the game, kids can run the bases with our mascots, the world's fastest mascots, I might add. Spike. So again, giving you more than what you anticipated. Wednesdays are t-shirt giveaways. We do t-shirt giveaways every Wednesday. So again, adding value to your experience. And on Thursdays are for the plates, and they're also college nights. So college students, faculty, and staff for $15 can get a ticket plus 5 diamond dollars that they can spend at the concession stand. So a better deal than a normal night. And also Thursdays, we play every Thursday as the Rochester Plates. Again, as I mentioned before, we're constantly trying to build pride in our community. We know, everybody on this call, I'm sure, is very familiar, the delicacy that is associated with the Flower City is, of course, the garbage plate. And every restaurant in town has their version of a plate. And a few years ago, back in 2017, we started playing as the Rochester Plates every Thursday. And it has been a tremendous source of community pride. Despite the name, everybody from our town is exceedingly proud of the fact that garbage plates come from Rochester, New York. And when you talk to people from all over the country, that is one of those things that they associate with our community. And we're very proud of that. And it's amazing when we play as the Plates, how so many people come to our games not wearing Red Wings gear, but wearing Rochester Plates gear. And so many people from all over the country, probably all 50 states, we've had orders, and we still get orders every year for Plates merchandise from all 50 states, and I think 11 different countries. So again, building pride in our community, that's one of those things that's essential to our success. Promotions is another thing, and I touched on a few of those, but we want to make sure that we give people a reason to come out to games, whether they like baseball or whether they don't like baseball. Now, there's people out there that don't like baseball, and I frankly don't get it. I don't understand that, but I know that there's people out there that don't truly enjoy the game of baseball. What we try to do is make it fun for fans, whether they like baseball or they don't like baseball, even if they hate baseball. We do that through promotions. We have 75 games a year, and our thought is we try to throw 75 different parties, different themed parties every year. So again, Fridays and Saturdays, we have fireworks. We have giveaway nights, probably about 30 to 35 giveaways over the course of the season. People love free stuff. That's one thing I've learned over my career. You can give away just about anything for free with our logo on it, and people will want it. We bring in characters from TV shows. We bring in former Major League Baseball players, NHL stars, NFL stars. I can tell you that we've had tons of autograph appearances here over the years, and we probably do about 7 or 8 every year. And the largest line we've ever had for any appearance is Stanley from The Office. Had by far the longest line of anyone we've ever had, signing autographs. And we've had other characters like Burt Ward, who played Robin in the Batman series. He had another incredibly long line. So again, many of those people maybe weren't huge baseball fans, but they came out and got a chance to meet Robin from Batman or Stanley from The Office. So again, trying to make it fun for fans, whether they like baseball or they don't like baseball. That's our job. And try to, we also have the RPO concert every year. We have 3 nights where we'll play as the Cocos Locos de Rochester, which is our Latin American heritage name that we play under. Because we all know there's a lot of coconuts here in Rochester. Let's see here. We have our tribute to the Negro Leagues, which is an important night for us. So again, we have Pride Night. We have all kinds of different promotions that are geared towards attracting different segments of our population and giving them a reason to come out and feel great about being here at Innovative Field and having a great time with their family and friends. Food and beverage is another very, very important means to getting people, attracting people here to the ballpark. Most people will not remember if I ask them, hey, who hit the game-winning home run, or who was the winning pitcher last night? But if I call them the day after the game, I can literally assure you that 100% of the fans would remember what they had to eat. And in many cases, what inning they ate that particular delicacy. And baseball, I'm convinced that Abner Doubleday must have been in the concessions business, because he designed 18 different breaks for fans, to give fans the opportunity to go and get something to eat or drink. But we have literally our season seat holders. If you come to 75 different games a year, you could have 75 different entrees, 75 different things to eat over the course of a season. And we know that food is a really important piece to get people here. And we have all kinds of different specials. And we're a lot more than just hot dogs and hamburgers. So food is a big way that we get people to the ballpark. And I think one of the last essential items to our success is teamwork. Again, we can't control what happens on the field, but when I talk about teamwork, I talk about my team, the team here in the front office. We all do everything, and your job title really tells a very small portion of the story. Again, we have a small staff, a small full-time staff, so we're very reliant on our part-timers. But no matter what happens here at the ballpark, if we have a crowd of, let's say, 10,000 people, we all are on duty to do whatever it takes to make your experience as a fan a great one. So very oftentimes, traffic will be backed up in the parking lots on a big crowd. You will more often than not see people from our front office out there helping our friends at RPD either direct traffic or helping our friends at MCC, who runs the parking lot, get people into the parking lots as quickly as possible, because it's a lot more fun inside Innovative Field than it is your car. Now, I'm sure your car is quite a party, but I can tell you it's going to be a lot more fun at the ballpark than it is sitting in your car. You won't see many times where an owner of a minor league baseball team will be rolling hot dogs or flipping burgers, but that's exactly what you'll see here out of our owner, Naomi Silver. Many times over the course of the year, she will get behind the stand and help out, and we all do. And I think that's an important piece to our success, is all of us do everything that it takes to make sure your experience is a great one. If it rains, no matter what your job title is, we all pull tarp. It's really fun. So if any of you come on a rainy night and you'd like to join for free, I will be more than happy to allow you to do that. It's a magnificent time, getting totally soaked and ruining your shoes along with your clothes. But it's what we all have to do. We're a minor league team. We don't have a huge grounds crew. So when something like that happens, it's all hands on deck. And I think that is one of the best examples of teamwork, is when we do have a rainy night, we have to, do our best to make lemons out of lemonade. And that's the same thing when we're having a tough year on the field. Our job is really to make sure we come up with, better promotions than ever to get people to come out and give them other reasons to come out other than what's happening on the field. So as I mentioned earlier, I can blab forever, but I think I'm best to take some questions now.
Yeah. Well, Dan, it's incredible. I mean, I think you're just contagious. I mean, your view for quality, your concern for effectiveness, your real devotion to make things happen right. I mean, just from this talk here, it's absolutely contagious. I'm motivated just sitting here listening to you.
Thank you, Eric.
So, I mean, I have a whole bunch of questions, but we also have some questions from the audience here. So here's one from Marcy Callahan. She's asking, what safety and security measures do you have in place for the families and the fans?
Oh, great question. So, that has really evolved over time. And I would say now that where we are right now, we probably have better security protocols than we've ever had before. Last year, we invested close to $100,000 in metal detectors, walk-through metal detectors that you can keep your phone in your pocket, you can keep your keys in your pocket. But these metal detectors will detect, something that you shouldn't be bringing into the ballpark. Also, we had to change our bag policy, become more consistent to what Major League Baseball ballparks are doing. And you'll notice as you go to other events around the country, there's a lot of places where you can't bring a bag. You basically can bring your phone and keys and your wallet. That's about it. So we've really had to adjust our bag policy to, again, be more secure and make sure our fans feel safe here at the ballpark. We also have, beefed up our security team in terms of having more personnel on hand. And also we work very closely with the RPD, who are here every night outside the ballpark directing traffic, but also they often come into the ballpark and make the rounds. So security is obviously very important for people making a decision to come to our games.
Very good. So I have another question here from Mark Almeida, and that's also a question that I have. So he's asking you about benchmarking other leagues or parks that have great experiences. He's talking about sausage races in Milwaukee, Sweet Caroline, Fenway a few years back. And he says, if so, how can we differentiate the Red Wing ballpark experience?
Sure. Well, I think that we do, every team kind of prides themselves on having unique promotions. So we don't have a sausage race, but we have a legends race. So we have these big characters. They're about 15 feet tall, maybe 10 feet tall. But Joe Altobelli, Luke Easter, and Cal Ripken Jr., and they race around the ballpark. So that's sort of our version of the sausage race that you see in Milwaukee. But we do some other things on the video boards that are unique to what other teams are doing, or even unique to what you might see. We do a Hungry Human Hippos contest where we'll have 2 fans dress up in hippo costumes, and they have to with the help of their teammate, grab as many balls. If any of you have seen Hungry Hippos or had that game as a kid. We also watched a lot of Price is Right as youngsters, I think, because a lot of our games you might see right out of what you've seen on the Price is Right.
So to tag on to Mark's question, he talked about benchmarking, and my question is, what quality tools are you using to keep your enthusiasm, to keep appraise of what the fans are really looking for? Are there tools that you found very successful that maybe we can use in our own industries to copy some of the success that you've had? We've all had a lot of instruction into various quality tools, from House of Quality to benchmarking to other things. I just wondered if there's something that you found to be very valuable.
I think we tried to, one of the great things about social media is that you can look and see very easily what other places are doing. Minor League Baseball has a Twitter account, a Minor League Baseball Twitter account. So we are constantly going on there and seeing what other teams from around the country are doing in terms of promotions, in terms of food, in terms of customer service, in terms of ticket packs. And, one of the great things about our industry of minor league baseball is that while we are fierce competitors on the field, we share our best ideas. You would never see, let's say, Coke sharing their trade secrets with a company with like one of their competitors, begins with a P. But we're a Coke house, so I can't mention by contract. I'm not allowed to say that other word. But that is one of those great things. Kodak would never call Fuji and say, "Hey, I got a great idea on how to sell more film." It doesn't happen like that. But in minor league baseball, we all call each other. We are constantly sharing our best ideas and then going back and putting our own spin on those ideas in our own markets, because not every idea is going to work in certain markets, right? So you have to take those and kind of conform them to how you think your fans will enjoy those the best. But that's one of the things I think we're very blessed to be in this industry, is that we all share our best ideas, and that keeps all of our teams doing as best as they possibly can.
That was great. So Terry Callahan has a question. He goes, how do you measure a great fan experience, or how do you measure success? And is there a specific fan experience that you're working to improve and do better, make better at?
I think smiles. If people are smiling when they're leaving, no matter what happens on the field, I know we did our job. And obviously we get feedback from fans on social media, or just to come up to us and tell us, how much they enjoyed Dino Day, or their kids loved running the bases. I mean, if you come out here on a Sunday and you see kids running the bases, I don't know who's happier, the moms and dads watching their kids run around the bases, or the kids themselves. It's really hard to tell sometimes.
So do you use customer surveys? How else do you get your information to get this information to you?
Yeah, we do some surveys. I'll be honest, not as many as we would like. We're, again, we're a kind of a smaller staff. Someday, hopefully we'll have somebody that we could hire to do that kind of thing. But right now we're not in a position to do that. So a lot of it is just, feedback that we get from the fans, and, ticket sales is our best form of feedback as well. If we have, if the office night draws 11,000 people, then guess what? We're going to do the office night again next year. So we'll do all kinds. We have done so many different types of promotions over the years. Some of them haven't been a huge success. Some of them have, and the ones that have, we continue to do. But I think even the ones that haven't done great, I think you need to do them once or twice, or at least twice, to make sure that is a stinker of an idea. Because you could have a great idea and get lousy weather, and it's not the idea's fault; it's Mother Nature's fault.
All right.
So
So James has a question on, tell us about the Executive of the Year Award. How is that selected? What's the criteria? And congratulations, by the way.
I just think people felt sorry for me, and that's why they voted. We all vote at the end of the year, all the International League execs, and so, like I said, they just felt sorry for me.
Very good. So Ross says, don't forget Milo the Bat Dog.
How could I ever forget Milo the Bat Dog? He's the star of the show every time he comes. He'll be here 8 times this year, our career high for Milo. If you haven't been to a game when Milo is here, I highly recommend it. We could be losing 18-0 in the 9th inning, and if Milo goes out to grab a bat, it is one of the loudest ovations you'll hear the entire game. People just love him, and we're very, very blessed to have him.
So forgive me, but explain what is Milo the Bat Dog? Is there a real
so
dog?
He's a golden retriever, and he goes out and fetches bats. Just like a bat boy or a bat girl would. So our guy will, one of our players will swing the bat, hopefully get a hit, and then drop his bat and run to first. And then Milo will trot out and pick up the bat and bring it back to the dugout. It's pretty amazing. We're very fortunate. There's probably 3 or 4 bat dogs throughout minor league baseball, and we're one of those teams that has one. And it's been a huge hit with our fans for sure.
All right. So Mark Altman has another question. Are you working with the Chamber of Commerce or other organizations in Rochester to heighten the fan experience by attracting local bars or restaurants to the area before and after the game? He's thinking of Wrigley and Fenway.
I think, obviously we work very closely with the Chamber of Commerce and the city and the county, and we're very fortunate to have a great relationship with all those entities. But in terms of, are we actively going out to try to recruit companies to come in here and set up a bar in High Falls? No. I can tell you I've got more than enough to do to try to figure out what we're going to do 75 times a year. And those, I'm not smart enough to figure out lease agreements or things like that for restaurants and bars.
Very good. So Leanne says your social media team is top notch. The ability to keep the community engaged even during the off season is done so well. So congratulations.
Thank you very much for saying that. I have a tremendous staff. We have a lot of ideas of what we want to do, but a lot of times, well, all the time, it's really up to our staff to execute those ideas. And we're very fortunate to have an incredible social media team. I agree with you. And, we try to make sure people are thinking about the Red Wings all the time, even when they're shoveling their driveway, or, maybe right after they're done shoveling their driveway, they come in and they check out Twitter. And if we can make people laugh in the middle of the winter, then that's what we want to do. We're here to entertain 365 days a year.
Very good. So Richard Schroyer asks, he says, Bill Veeck was the king of promotions back in the day. Have you been influenced by him or anyone else in the area of promotions?
I think anybody that works in this game has been influenced by Mr. Veeck. He really changed baseball from a baseball game to an entertainment experience. And I think, when I first started in this with the team back in 1990, we really relied on the game itself and attracting baseball fans. We didn't really, we didn't do a lot of promotions. If we did, it was something that we would give away at the gate, and then that would be it. And then during the game, we would, play music and, give away a couple of things through a stamped ad in the program. But that was really about it. And then I went into my boss, I think towards the end of the season that year, and I said, I really think we should do some promotions during the game, between innings, keep people on the edge of their seats between innings and keep them entertained. And he said, okay, you're the director of group sales and promotions now. Go do it. And I said, well, I didn't. He said, yep, that's your job now. So but I think all of us in minor league baseball realize that we need to do more than just play baseball to attract fans. And again, it comes down to giving everybody in our town a reason to come other than the baseball game.
Very good. So from Kendra Lee, she says, thank you for the programs and the games geared towards members of our community. And she's just noting here that May is AAPI month, which is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And thank you for taking this feedback and your great work here in Rochester.
Thank you.
All right. So from Teresa, we have reacted to your social media with a good thumbs up. Roy is saying, can you speak a bit about community ownership model?
Sure. So in 1956, the St. Louis Cardinals owned our team, and they decided that they were going to leave Rochester. How dare they? And so a gentleman by the name of Maury Silver went to the Cardinals and said, hey, look it, how about if I can raise enough money to buy the team, will you stay? And the Cardinals said, yeah, sure, go ahead, see what you can do. And in 72 days, Mr. Silver raised enough money by selling shares in the team to keep the team in town and to buy the ballpark and to buy the team from the Cardinals. We are, you know, the kind of the Green Bay Packers of minor league baseball. There's not many professional sports franchises that are community owned, and we're one of them. And I have a lot of bosses, and you know, so whether people have one share or people have 100 shares, I think that's one of the really cool things about our team, and one of the reasons why we've been around since 1877 is that we are truly the community is truly invested in this franchise. And while we have Naomi Silver, our president, CEO, COO, her family owns most of the shares that her father had sold in the team. But, people from all over our community have a tremendous sense of pride in having, one share in the team. And it's pretty cool. There's not many professional sports organizations that people can have a piece of, but in our town, that's exactly what they can do.
Excellent. I have another one here, one from Joycelyn. She says, hi, Dan, more than happy to talk to you about survey work. It's been what I've been doing here for the past many decades. And so I have a name of Jocelyn Goldberg, the president of the research group. And she has a contact here that would be more than happy to help with that.
Sounds good.
What do we have here? So I have one from Kiera. It says, do you provide any opportunities for youth to volunteer helping out with simple, useful tasks during games or other events that would allow them to use their hours on their resume as they get older? For example, when I was in high school, I was able to use animal shelter volunteer work to help my resume. So do you provide volunteer opportunities for kids?
We do. Actually, we have one coming up here with the city of Rochester, Clean Sweep. So fans that want to come out and help beautify the place where we live, work, and play, our great city of Rochester. They do a program called Clean Sweep every year where you can get credit towards service hours. You can put that towards graduation or whatever you need. And also, if you show up here at like 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, April 29th, you'll get a free coffee in Danish or juice. And then you'll go out and clean the city for about 3 hours. And then you come back here, you get a free ticket to our game that afternoon. You get a free hot dog and you get a free t-shirt. So not a bad, and free parking. So not a bad deal in addition to getting some of those community service hours that people need. We also do internships. Our internships are really geared towards college students who need the credit to graduate from college. But we usually have about 10 to 12 college interns over the course of every season, and they're pivotal to our success as well. Again, we couldn't do all the things that we do around here without our part-time employees, our interns, and our full-time employees. It's and again, we spend a lot of time with all of them trying to preach the same message of customer service.
All right, there's another comment here from Richard. He says, could Could you talk briefly about the importance of Fred Costello?
You mean Hall of Famer Fred Costello?
Hall of Famer Fred Costello.
Fred will be inducted into the Rochester Music Hall of Fame here at the end of this month on the 30th of April. And, he has played more games from the Red Wings than anyone else. He's played over 3,000 games for the Red Wings. So there's a little trivia question on Fred. I'll give you another one too. Who is the only person to ever play for the Rochester Americans and the Rochester Red Wings? Fred Costello. He's just, again, part of the entertainment experience. He's been doing it. This is his 48th year this year. And he is, in addition to his tickling the ivories for our fans and leading us in the charge and taking me out to the ball game and the anthem, all those years, he also does a trivia question every night. Fred's the best. And, so glad that he's getting into the Music Hall of Fame here this season.
Excellent. So I have a question here. Are there plans to use the innovative field to host local high school or college games, playoffs, tournaments?
Yes, we play a bunch of high school games here every year. Not that many college games, but we do have the Section 5 finals and the state regionals here. And we do have some men's league games as well and some other youth games, travel team games. So it's, we have 75 games, and then we have probably about 50 other events over the course of the year, be it not-for-profit walks or 5Ks or other youth baseball games or amateur games, concerts, festivals. So the ballpark is used quite a bit. So I tell my wife, I'll see you around April 1st. I say, I'll see you on September 25th when our season ends. Because we're pretty much here all the time during the summer.
All right. So I have a note here from Michael Hardy. He gives you a hearty hello, Dan.
Hardy hello, Michael.
He says, please explain how you and your team solicited, collected, and reused the wonderful, resilient ideas for 2020 and 2021 during the pandemic to keep afloat, to get audience and fans in. He says you were very creative.
Well, I think the one thing that we learned, and I think a lot of companies learned during COVID, was you had to be nimble. It was a devastating year for us, a year where we had no games, we had no revenue. We didn't really know what to do. So we had to get creative. We, sold masks with our logo on it in the team store. We sold hand sanitizer in the team store with one of our partners. We sold t-shirts, we did drive-in movies with the city of Rochester. I never thought that I would be running a movie theater in all my wildest dreams, but that's exactly what we did. Every Tuesday through Saturday, we had drive-in movies here. That summer, we did Dinner on the Diamond. We didn't have any games to play, but we knew people loved to come here and eat. And so we literally sold tables just like a restaurant would. And people came out, made reservations, and we cooked ballpark food for them, and they got a chance to eat right on the field, and then play catch afterwards if they want, or stroll around the warning track. So all those things that we did just to try to stay afloat during COVID, we had to be really nimble and try and come up with reasons to give people incentive to come to the ballpark, even though we didn't have any games.
Wow, tremendous. So I have a question here from Amber. She says, Dan, your team's energy is noticeable. You've succeeded in creating all hands-in energy, and I always leave the park feeling more motivated and connected to other humans. So what practical tips does your organization implement that contributes to this team culture of quality and standout customer service? So do you have any tips for us?
Smile.
Smiling
is infectious, and it makes people have fun, right? We're here to, whatever we have to do, we have to make sure that people leave here with a smile on their face. And I think, no matter how bad a day we're having internally, when those gates open, boy, this was the best day I've ever had in my life. And we have to, we have to have fun how can we expect our fans to have fun if we're not having fun? So we have to go into each and every game with that mentality that, this is going to be a great night. And some nights are better than others. I mean, honestly, if it's raining out and we're all pulling tarp and slopping around in the mud, trying to get the field ready, that's not necessarily the funnest nights. But once we start playing ball, hey, we did all this work for you fans to make sure that, you took time out of your schedule to plan to be here. We're going to try and make sure this happens for you. So I think smiling is a really important thing. And just being visible. I think, again, whether it's, if it's a 40-degree game and we may have, 1,000 people here, which is not a great crowd, right, for us. But if it's 40 degrees, I understand that, but I could easily come in here and sip hot chocolate until the end of the game. But it's important for me to be out there with the fans, wearing a hat and gloves and a jacket, just like everybody else. If I expect people to come out and watch our team, and I expect our team to play in those conditions, then I got to be out there too. So I think being one with the fans as often as we can, being real, I think is and genuine is another really important thing that we all try to do around here.
All right, I have a chance for one last question here from Ann McNillis. She says, I was at Sunday's game, perfect day for baseball, even though if it wasn't quite the result we wanted, and really noticed how the pitch clock kept the game moving. Do you think you'll need to make adjustments to concessions or other elements of the experience as a result of this change? So I don't know what a pitch clock is, but
so I think one of the things that Major League Baseball did is kind of they've adopted some of the rules of the game. One of those things is the pitcher has a certain amount of time to throw a pitch. The batter has to be in the batter's box ready to hit within 9 seconds of, before the pitch clock gets down to 9. And I think those things really help the flow of the game and keep it moving. We aren't going to make any changes to how we do things. We're going to have some games where we play in 2 hours. That's just the way it's going to be. And some games are still going to be 3 hours. But I think the great thing about the pitch clock is that it's going to make sure that more often than not, the games are going to be around 2.5 hours. And that is a sweet spot sort of for somebody's entertainment experience, right? It'll allow more fans to stay till the end of the game. More, before the pitch clock, we were finding many families leaving it, it gets to be 9:30 or 9:45. And people are leaving in the 8th or, the 7th or even in the 9th inning, leaving before the game is over. And we don't want that. We want people to stay for the whole game and be able to stay for the fireworks and have their kids stay for the fireworks. So I think the pitch clock is one of those things that's really going to help attract a younger audience as well as an older audience. Somebody like me that grew up watching the game where, when I grew up falling in love with baseball, the games were around 2.5 hours. And somehow we got away from that and they became, anywhere between 3 and 3.5, even 4 hours. If you watch a Yankee Red Sox game 2 years ago, most of those were 4 hours long. That's way too long. So I think the pitch clock has been a great innovation for MLB to, that they're doing it now. We've been doing it here for about 7 years.
Great. Is there a website that we should be going to bookmark to get all our games and activities? That was a question from Michael. Is there a specific or best website that we should be checking out?
Thank you for that softball, Michael. I really appreciate it. Yes, go to redwingsbaseball.com for all the latest promotional information. You can get tickets at redwingsbaseball.com and also follow us on all our social channels at Rock Red Wings. That's at Rock Red Wings. And don't forget, you can always call us at 423-WING for tickets.
423, great closure on there. So this is great, Dan. Thank you so much for coming out here and sharing your experience. Just one observation that I've made during this talk here. We've all been schooled in quality tools and the House of Quality to surveys, all these things, but But I think what we're seeing here is that the leadership is probably the most important of all those tools, you know, to have the vision, to have the ability to inspire others, to have, to have that vision really, infiltrate throughout your whole organization. I think it really comes down to leadership. And Dan, I think you exemplify the quality leadership that we all aspire to. And I'm very, very pleased to have participated in this seminar today.
Well, thank you. I have to give all the leadership credit to Naomi Silver, our president, CEO, COO. She has really built a familial atmosphere, not only for our front office team, but also for our fans. When you're a fan of the Red Wings, you are family. And that really has come from her. And I just try to carry out her vision and her plan for this team.
Very good. So if there's, I don't know, is there any last thoughts from you, James? That any last words that you have? I have 1 minute left for our seminar here. I think we're right on time.
No, I just want to echo your final comments there, Eric. I agree that it's clear to me that Dan is playing a big part in the success of the Red Wings, through his leadership and his infectious manner of communicating. So that was awesome. Friendly reminder to everybody, right? The next session will be on May 24th, Organizational Excellence at Eastman Savings and Loan, ESL. And then please consider putting in an application for the Performance Excellence Awards for your organization. And again, we're accepting applications through the end of this month.
Very good. And Richard, thank you very much for coordinating all the web activity here. It's absolutely appreciated, the work that you do for GRQC. So thank you, Richard.
Fair enough. And we do have an evaluation poll. If people would like to fill that out, we just put the link to it in the chat. Let us know what you think. Let us know about ideas for other programs.
All right. Well, then I'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you very much.
Thanks everybody.
Much.
Thanks, Dan.